Welcome everyone to Help We're Stuck in a Box. I'm your co-host, Michael Ney, with our other co-host of the night, Alexander Roman.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Yes. Let's just open it up. How are you doing tonight, Alex?
Man, I was literally just working on a research project for my art history class before this, so that's been the majority of my day. What are you up to? How's it going? How's life?
Let's see. At the start of this week, had 18 assignments due for this weekend.
Lovely.
Then I've been working on them this week, and I'm down to, I think, 10. After I complete this assignment, I'll be down to 9.
Nice, a solid 9. You love to see it.
Yeah, and then because I can work on some of the other stuff because they don't take as long, so then I can do that, and I'll be down to 2.
Nice, very
Because I
pog.
have 7 assignments for one class.
Lovely.
And then my girlfriend's birthday is tomorrow, which is gonna be great. She's turning 19.
Very cool.
Very, very nice. Very excited. I've also got a surprise date planned that we're gonna be going on Wednesday.
Ugh, love to see it.
I'm very, very excited to take her there. And then I recorded a new game for my channel, and then I recorded another part of that game and broke the game. Actually broke how the UI works.
Nice.
Yeah, love to see broken roguelike games. It's called Luck Be a Landlord. I recommend for everyone to go watch the video and play that game because it is very fun. It's gambling, but without real money.
Wow, I can't believe you're shamelessly plugging your own video and your own channel.
You know
Wow,
what? They're
unbelievable.
already here, so they might as well.
Yeah, true, right? Well,
So I've had 2 videos go up, and we're about to have a third with
Pardon.
this podcast. So
Yes, indeed. Ooh, boy. Well, a lot has happened in the world in the past week, 2 weeks. It's been very interesting. I guess
very
we'll start with what were your thoughts on the boat stuck in the Suez Canal? How did you view
okay.
that situation?
Okay, that is actually my first topic that I wanted to bring up. That was topic number 1. I wanted to talk about the Suez Canal boat.
See, we're on the same wavelength. We got it.
I thought it was fucking stupid. I watched the video of how it got stuck, and I still don't understand how.
Ugh.
It's going. The Suez Canal, for the most part, is a straight fucking line. Especially, where the boat was, it's a straight fucking line.
Yep.
You should not turn in the slightest because you don't need to. It's a straight line. Now, I don't know what happened necessarily, but they turned the boat and it got stuck in the mud.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So they have to pull this big ass freight boat with tiny little tugboats to get it out and make tiny progress. Now, it was stuck so long that people had to resort to going back around Africa, like the bottom of South Africa, instead of going through the Suez Canal.
Yep. Reject modernity, return to ancient tradition.
So I think it's super funny and super interesting because if you look at the first day, if you look at the map of how many boats were being blocked, it was hundreds. It was billions of dollars being lost for them being blocked and everything.
You know what?
$1
As it
billion
should be.
trades. And
They should
so I
get a
thought
reality check every once in a while. Just
I
by a
thought that was
big
super
boat
funny. I'm
blocking
just
a canal.
if you look, the boat's going straight, and then all of a sudden it just starts turning right and gets stuck. And I'm like,
Deja vu.
why?
Never been in this place before.
Now
My
I've been
guy was
seeing
just like, fuck it, I'm gonna recreate Tokyo Drift. Watch this.
my favorite meme that's come out of this whole thing is I saw one today, actually. That was it was the boat saying, "I'm stuck," right?
Uh-huh.
And another boat coming along on top of that boat, and it's saying, "What are you doing, step boat?"
What are you doing,
Favorite
step
meme.
boat?
Favorite meme to come out of the entire thing.
Fuck it, uncanals your Suez. I thought it was great. It was just a funny little thing for us to laugh at for like a week. Just a big boat blocking world trade and just being stuck in
Yeah.
a canal.
Well, so far this month's memes have been a mix of Suez Canal boat, monkey, and
Monkey.
DaBaby.
Oh, and not only that. Speaking of rappers and musicians, have you watched the music video for "Call Me by Your Name" yet?
Call Me by Your Name.
Montero, the song that Lil Nas X just put out, that everybody's
Oh.
chatting about on Twitter.
Isn't he like lap dancing with the devil at one point or some shit?
You goddamn right he is.
Now, Lil Nas X is fucking ridiculous
He's my
in the
favorite.
first
I
place.
love him to bits.
I think he is one of the dumbest people to come out of the rap game recently. I think he is ridiculously stupid for kind of being like a soldier boy of our modern times.
What? No way.
Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy is his own man. Hell no. You can't compare anybody to Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy is his own entity.
Soldier Boy is just a boy with a dream
Just
and
a boy with a dream.
and went against copyright violations and made his own Nintendo products.
No
Just made the
way.
Switch, made the PS4, made the Game Boy, made the GameCube, basically made AirPods. Like he has his own website. You can go on Soldier Boy's website and buy these products. They are bootleg products
Oh my god.
of famous game consoles.
Soldier
And
Cube.
guess what Lil Nas X just did?
Oh, I saw the shoes. I saw.
You saw the shoes where he advertised that they had human blood in them, and then Nike was like, "Hey, we're not a part of this. Like, keep us out of your fucking mouth."
You gotta admit, the shoes are pretty fucking cool though.
I don't like them. I think they look too bulky for my taste.
Yeah, I get that. Design-wise, they are a bit bulky, but I think the concept's fucking cool.
And that's coming from someone that used to wear big ass bulky like ankle Adidas, you know,
Oh my
like
god,
the
yeah.
old school like skater shoes when I was not a skater in the slightest.
Yeah, or you remember those fucking like bulky ass like Osiris's that had like the huge tongues too?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's basically what I wore. And I hate the idea that I used to wear those because I'm not the biggest fan of bulky shoes anymore. Like I still got some shoes that you could consider bulky, but
I mean,
I don't like the new Lil Nas X shoes.
that's fair. I mean, it could have been worse. You could have worn New Balances.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
New Balance, if you want to give us an endorsement, that'd be cool.
Speaking of endorsements, okay.
Oh god.
I looked it up tonight because the Blues game was on tonight, and I'm pretty sure they lost to the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh wow.
Pretty sad. But we're not doing the worst. We're like fourth in our division, and we're like 18th in the league out of like 32 or so.
That's still pretty solid. You're almost halfway.
Pretty solid. The Blues are notoriously one of the best on average teams.
Uh-huh.
The Blues will do the same every season, basically. I mean, they have only one Stanley Cup win.
This Stanley Cup is hockey, but go on.
The Blues are hockey.
I thought you were talking about baseball. My fucking bad. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about hockey.
Yeah, keep talking. The Cardinals is where it's at for baseball. Cardinals is where it's at for baseball. But the Blues are your best bet to go with on average. If you want a good, solid team to almost every year get to the Stanley Cup and make it past the first round or so, the Blues is where you go. Now, I was looking at how much it would cost to put my advertisement inside the ice.
Oh my god.
In the rink. $5,000 for 1 year.
Jeez. Well, for a year? That's...
For a year in a densely packed stadium where millions of people will see it. Millions. Okay? Because not only are you getting the Blues fans, but you're also getting every team that the Blues plays against on home field. On home turf. So $5,000 for 1 year for my advertisement. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? 1 year, I kind of want to just save up. Like, if I become like overly rich, which I doubt it.
Yeah, right.
But like hypothetically,
it's about $416 a month, by the way.
I would so put my fucking advertisement in the ice.
Huh.
I would do that in a heartbeat. Now,
Well, I'm sure they wouldn't let. I don't know if they would let just some like random YouTube kid just put their fucking advertisement in it, though. I'm sure you have to
You
be
would
like some brand of some kind.
you would think so, but if I have a brand on my YouTube channel,
Uh,
of course,
right.
I am a local technical business.
Fair.
Now,
Yeah.
the Blues love local business. Like they go crazy for local business. And if I get put my advertisement in the ice just to advertise their products and videos and shit and like the games, boom, done deal, set up.
Interesting. Interesting. That
But yeah, I was just like that'd be
that's an
kind of
interesting
funny and
concept.
stupid to do at the same time.
It's an interesting little idea. About $400 a month to put your advertisement in ice. Interesting.
Four
Oh
hundred and sixteen
man.
dollars a month is not a lot.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's about a paycheck or two if you're working a solid job.
Right, right.
But man,
Did my audio get quiet again?
yeah, you're a little bit quieter for me.
Why is it doing this? I
I'm
have
not
Audacity open.
I'm not sure. Please pause for technical difficulties.
I'm sorting things out. What's going on?
What's going on here?
All right, how's that?
Not too much better.
Okay, how's this? Better?
Yeah, it's about the same.
How's this? Is this better?
You seem actually even quieter, believe it or not.
Fuck. Okay, hold on. Let me put this back down. This, and then sorry everyone at home. I know this is
This is
intriguing stuff.
all staying in.
How's this? Is this better?
That is better, yeah.
Is it a lot better? Is it good for the video?
Oh, that's much better, actually.
Okay.
So you're
I
set
had
where
to
you
increase
are.
my freaking noise gain. I don't get why it does that. I didn't click anything. I wasn't touching anything. And all of a sudden my mic just went fucking quiet.
Because it just doesn't like you. That's why. It's just like
I've
fucking
been
this
thinking about getting a
guy
new mic.
making me record Overwatch content. Fuck this.
About getting a new mic recently because it's just like if this happens for every fucking recording.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Blues just officially lost 2-3.
Nice. Hate to
Yeah,
see it.
they're gonna have to pay me a little bit more for me to put my advertising in the ice now.
Yeah, okay.
So I wanted to talk about this. I've been watching Death Note recently, right?
Which one, the anime or the live action?
Anime.
Good.
Because then I'm gonna go back and watch the Netflix adaptation because I've already watched it. But I want to now compare it now that I've seen most of the show.
You will hate it when you go back to it, I promise.
See, I liked the adaptation. I thought they did a lot for what they could.
Bro, they whitewashed the fuck out of all the characters, my guy.
That is true. I understand that they whitewashed the entire thing, but I'm talking more about the concept.
uh,
You know.
yeah, I mean,
Now,
fair.
I will agree that the Japanese versions are way better.
Well, yeah, because
The two Japanese Death Note films,
they've got proper
but the
casting and they know what
Japanese,
they're doing.
yeah, but the Japanese animation for Ryuk is not great. It's
Ryuk?
very like PlayStation 3 esque, whereas the Netflix adaptation is actually something that you would see in like a Marvel movie worth of animation for Ryuk.
I mean, fair, but there's a certain charm to PS3 era graphics, I would say.
That's true, but not in a movie style.
Yeah, that's fair.
When you're trying to play it off as he's right there next to you.
Uh huh.
But I was thinking about it, and I was like, how would I go about if I had the Death Note?
Oh yeah. Uh huh.
And for people that don't know, Death Note is all about Shinigamis, which are death gods. And they have a book where if you write down the name of someone and you know their name and face, you can control how they die and when they die.
Yeah, you can either write a specific like death, or if you don't, it's like a heart attack in like
It's
30
a heart attack.
seconds, right?
Yeah, within 40 seconds, it's a heart attack, and you
That's
can
right.
write their cause of death within the next 6 minutes.
That's right. It's an interesting concept for sure. Absolutely.
Crazy concept. Like I just watching the show. I'm like,
Yes,
I would do that
please tell
differently.
me how you would kill specific people.
I'm like, I would do that differently. Because I think that they introduce it in the most perfect way of like, haha, you think it's a joke, so you write down someone's name that you know, right?
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden they're dead.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, fuck. I don't fully think this is real, but shit, that's crazy. And then you do it again, and then the next person's dead, and you're like, okay, I've got some mad power on my hands.
Something's going on here. Rip to Light Yagami, but I'm different.
I was just like, watching it back, some of the things that happens makes me laugh so much. Like, Ryuk is the death god that follows Light Yagami, are the main protagonist of most of the show,
Yeah.
but the main protagonist of the movies.
Yeah.
And Ryuk loves apples, but so if he doesn't eat apples enough, his body starts to contorting and like stiffening up. And I'm just like,
Was that the reason? Really? I don't remember
yeah,
that.
yeah. And so I was like, what would just happen if like Ryuk just went, grabbed a bunch of apples, and people just saw a bunch of floating apples being eaten and then disappeared? Like,
What
they
would
couldn't
you
do
do?
anything about that.
I mean,
Like, eventually it would follow, like, back to the source as he gets found out, but there's a
would you,
lot of different things. And I like how the anime, like, whenever you start a new episode and end an episode, like, whenever you do, like, the jump cuts,
uh-huh.
it shows you a new rule,
Oh yeah, those are cool
and
too.
then it elaborates on that rule at the next cut, and I'm like, that's very nice, because, like, there's so many, like, questions I've had about the Death Note, and then all of a sudden they get answered because it's like, oh, by the way, if a person touches the Death Note, they can see the Shinigami, the Death God.
Right.
So I
Would
thought that was kind of
you
interesting.
would you take the deal with the Shinigami in order to see people's like lifespans and to trade
Hmm.
out one of your eyes?
So the deal we're talking about is the Shinigami eyes. You can make a deal which would cost you half of your life,
Yeah.
half of your lifespan. Now, here's the thing: you can get rid of the book, but when you do, you die.
Yep.
And if you can take the deal more than one time if you like go around some of like the boundaries of how the rules work. So then you could be down to a quarter of your life. I think at first I would not take the deal
Uh-huh.
because think about how many times criminals' names get released to the public. So of course I would target criminals first, like hard criminals.
Right. Just like
And
Light does, yeah.
as I'm being found out, I think I might take the eyes just so I could kill the people that would come closest to me without even having to know their name. So like it would be more of a thing like, oh wow, they didn't even make contact. Like how would they know? You know?
I mean, granted, do you think you even be found out is the question, you know? Because I feel like
I think
as long as you keep it like pretty fucking under wraps and you don't say shit, then you'd be fine, you know?
like in our own world, I don't think I would ever be found out. I think you'd have to actually like tell someone about it to be found out.
True. Because you don't have like a
There's no
fucking, there's no L who's gonna be fucking tracking your ass down.
right. L is a mastermind detective that can solve any fucking crime in the show. But if we
Mm.
were in that universe, I think I would have to take the deal. Now I was thinking about it. I don't remember seeing a rule about it. I would write my own name in the death note, and I would set it up for it to be, you know, 60, 70 years down the road.
Right.
That way, I can't be killed unless it's that time. That's how the death note worked. You cannot be killed until your time is up in the death note. And so
Interesting.
I think I would write my name like I would ask, the death
Oh.
god, of course, but I would so if they were like, "Oh yeah, you can do that," we think, I'd be like,
Mhm.
"You know what? Fuck it. I'll do it." And I would write down my name and I would write down dies of a heart attack, at the age of 105.
Hmm.
Now, that won't stop me from being captured by the police or whatever, but it would make sure that I have a specific day that I die.
Right.
Because in the show, Light uses it to say, hey, over the next several weeks, these people will die at these times,
Hmm.
So then he writes down a bunch of names, and then over those couple like weeks, he doesn't write down any more names, and he just acts like a normal person, so he doesn't get found out.
Interesting.
I've thought about it so much because I love this show.
Rule 4.2, using the Death Note. A Shinigami can extend its life by writing human names in the Death Note, but a human cannot. A person can only shorten his or her life by using the notes. Interesting.
Now, here's the thing. If you can only shorten your life, let's say you go to a doctor and you say, hey, could you just give me a rough estimate, like based on how my lifestyle is now, on when would be like the latest I could die, like the latest I could live.
Right.
And if they say, hey, you're fine for another 80 years, I would put it down for 70 years.
True.
You know, that way I would still be technically shortening my life by 10 years. Because that rule could kind of cave in on itself, because if Light were to write down someone's name, but then before he's done writing it down, that person gets shot and killed, you know, they can't come back to life.
Interesting.
Because you also see in the show, whenever a Shinigami does write down a human's name that's going to kill another human, he's extending the human's life that was going to be killed.
Right.
Which then kills the Shinigami.
Yeah, because I'm looking at this answer now, and apparently there's like contradictions, you know. I guess like even in the manga itself, because like in the manga it says you will not die if you write your own name in here, but it's not recommended in like the manga pilot chapter of Death Note.
Yeah.
But then in like the movies and like the one shot specials, there's been like the killers and like L who do write their own name in the Death Note, and they do die. So
right,
it's just a matter of like canonicity, I guess.
In the second film of the Japanese films, right? L writes his name in the Death Note, because then Light tries to write his name down, and then like the police figure out that it is Light. But then L comes back to Light, like L, like he fake dies, and then he comes over to Light and he's like, you fucked up, basically. He's like, I already wrote my name in the Death Note. Because they all touch the Death Note and they see the god and they're like freaking out. Now here's the thing. You can write rules in the Death Note that don't really count as rules.
Like, you fucked up, idiot. Can't kill me if I kill myself first.
It's like that one meme with the guy has a gun to his head.
Trust nobody, not even yourself.
Now, in the show, or in the Japanese movie, the second one, Light has what's her name? It's the Rem. Rem is the female death god that is with the second Death Note.
Yes, with the punk rock chick. Yeah.
Yeah, Misa.
Yes, her.
Light has Rem write in the Death Note that if the person does not like kill another person, write down another person's name within like 13 days, then the Death Note will be forfeited or some shit. Now, of course, that rule doesn't stick because it's not a universal Death Note rule made by like the death god, like the top god.
Yeah.
But I was like, so what's the like? How do you change the rules? Is there a way to change rules and add more rules?
I don't know, actually.
I didn't think you were able to write in the Death Note unless it was someone's name, cause of death, and everything.
Right. Interesting. I don't know.
I thought that was interesting shit because I was like, there's so many different questions I have for this show that none of them will ever be answered fully because I doubt we'll be able to get the creators of Death Note on this podcast.
Right. Yeah, no.
That'd be perfect, but
a few years back, an old friend of mine had like the manga of Death Notes. He had like the big like black book editions that had like the different volumes, like the multiple volumes in one book, you know?
Yeah.
And I read through the entire manga and it was super duper good. But that was so long ago and I don't remember like half of it.
It's phenomenal. It really is.
Oh, it's so good. I thoroughly enjoyed my time reading it.
I've looked at a little bit of it. Manga, of course, is the best way to go if you're going to try and actually get into something. Then the anime, then the adaptations, because the adaptations are usually horrible.
Yeah, that's very true. I
But
like
the thing
reading
is,
manga.
people, you have to take the freaking like adaptations with a grain of salt because there's only so much you can do.
Hmm. Very
You
true.
know, there's only so many different ways you can have light making to their deaths.
Hmm.
Like you just can't do much.
Yeah, true.
All right, we can change the topic. We've been talking about Death Note for a little while.
I mean, I'm just here listening to you fucking chatter on about Death Note. I'm not complaining at all.
I'm a big nerd when it comes to that shit.
I mean, that's totally fair. I've been getting into more anime and stuff here recently. It's been super exciting. Started watching Jujutsu Kaisen. That show fucking rules. So good.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think next on my list is either One Piece
Okay, One Piece. Have fun having literal years to either read or
or
watch through it.
like Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Watch Brotherhood, honestly.
I want to watch. No, I'm gonna watch the original one first, and then I'm gonna watch Brotherhood because I know the whole point of Brotherhood is to expand the show, go past the horrible ending that the first show gives.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
because
It's
my buddy was like, when you watch the first show, he goes, it's not really a spoiler because it sucks, and I know you don't want a shitty ending. He goes, watch through the first show because the ending is absolutely horrible and it does not do the show justice. But then the second Brotherhood just negates the ending and says, fuck that, that was stupid. And then completely goes, yeah, we'll just continue the story.
well,
I
because
also have,
I think Brotherhood came out after the manga ended, actually, and I think with the first series, the manga was still going on. So I think they still had to they had a bullshit some ending or something like that.
and then I've got My Hero Academia. I need to
Good
watch the
stuff.
second season of One Punch Man.
Mm,
I could watch a million
would not
seasons of.
would not recommend the second season of One Punch Man. It's so awful.
You know what though? People said that about the first season as well because people didn't like the whole aspect that he's unbeatable. He'll kill everything with one punch, and you know what happens like in every episode. Like you know he's gonna win.
Yeah,
And people were
but
saying that's why the show's bad. I go, I love the show for that reason. Like I'm
yeah.
fine with watching a million episodes of this guy doing the same shit, being so pissed off that he can't fucking die.
Yeah, but
Just to kill
the
everything with
thing
a punch.
is, like all of that charm that the first season has is just gone in the second one. Plus, it was helmed by a different studio
Mm,
that than the first
that makes
season,
sense.
and so like just the kind of like the art style was taken in a different direction as well, and just the story is just like it just sucks, dude. I would just recommend watching season one and just leave it at that because it's
No, I
actually
never.
funny, has good humor, has charm. I like it a lot.
I I lose respect for people that do that. Like
What?
when people like talk about The Office and they go, "Oh yeah, I watched The Office, but I skipped through the first season, and I skipped through Scott's Tots, and I skipped through. They go through all the cringy episodes and they just get rid of them." I go, "You're not getting the full show. The show's supposed to be cringy. The show's supposed to be bad in the first season because they didn't know if they were going to get canceled or not.
I
I would
still
rather
haven't
watch a
watched
show
The
in its
Office.
entirety than skip out and then just be like, eh, you know."
Yeah, I have
Like I
not watched
watched
The Office actually.
I fully recommend it. The first season is bad compared to the rest of them,
Uh
but
huh.
on its own, it's not bad because the first season is, hey, we don't want to push our boundaries too much because we don't know if we'll get picked up for another season. Now,
Right.
once they hit that second season, they go, oh, we're locked in for like 3 more seasons. Okay, we can push the boundaries of our jokes. There are sexist jokes, there are a little bit of racist jokes, that come
Ooh.
in, and
Yikes.
that's what the show's supposed to be. The show's supposed to be an American workplace. The show's supposed to be a mockumentary of shows that have those talking heads. Like that's the whole reason of the show.
Right.
Now, the racist and sexist jokes I'm talking about are sexist in being that's what she said, or talking about blondes, brunettes, that kind of shit. And the racist ones in themselves, like even the people that they're making the jokes about will joke about it too. Like They
I
have fun with it. The show is very
I remember seeing that clip where they made the whole joke about that Chris Rock stand up bit or
yeah
whatever.
yeah.
And it was the white guy saying it, and he had to like awkwardly perform it in front of like all of his coworkers or whatever.
hmm
Which, by the way,
Like
that bit by itself is so funny.
there's even a part, all right, in one season where they so they're one of the characters is Stanley. He's played by Leslie David Baker,
Uh-huh.
phenomenal actor, right?
Right.
Black guy. And Stanley's whole motive is you go to work and you go home. Like you're not at work to have fun.
That's
And
yeah,
so,
I agree.
all right, so then they bring in a guy named Martin Nash. Um, they make a joke because he is an ex-convict, but he was in there for insider trading, and so they make jokes. They're like trying to go through, see who all the like who might be the convict, because they found out that someone that they had hired by accident was an ex-con, and they were going through all the people, and the last person that they had to guess was Martin Nash. And so someone guesses him, and they go, "Why? Because he's black?" And
Oh my god.
they go, "No, it's because he's the only person we haven't guessed yet." And so then, like they cut to a shot. It's a really famous shot, where Martin looks at Stanley and like pounds his chest twice and everything like that, as in
Uh-huh.
like respect. And
Uh-huh.
Stanley just looks at him and like rolls his eyes and goes back to work.
Oh yeah, I've seen that clip before.
So they make jokes about it within their own like racial diversity and everything. Like so they have like um Diversity Day is a very like racially tense episode.
Uh-huh.
Like a guy they bring in, his name is supposed to be Mr. Brown, and Michael Scott, a white guy, goes, "All right, good test. I'm not going to call you that because that is racist, you know,
Oh
because
my
Mr. Brown is a black
god.
guy."
Yeah.
Is like so even within their own like first season, they're able to push it a little bit. It's really nice.
Right. And I mean, come on, it's also who is that actor? What is his name? Who plays
Uh, Steve Carell.
yes, Steve Carell. Steve Carell's just funny on his own too.
Oh yeah,
He's
he's just
very
a
much made a
naturally funny
career
guy.
out of that type of comedy.
That's why I like the 40-year-old virgin. I
Oh,
love
40 Virgin's great.
someone to share the end of the world with.
Uh huh.
One of my all-time favorite Steve Carell movies. It's such a sweet, like, lovey film. Like, basically, Steve Carell's character gets dumped and basically spends the last like 2 weeks they have before the Earth gets destroyed by a meteor, and he's just finding someone to spend his last weeks with.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's very fun. It's funny. It's heartwarming at points. There's a scene at it, and I'm just like, what the fuck just happened?
I think one of my personal favorite Steve Carell movies. God, I don't remember the name of it now, but he plays this dude who gets his ass kicked in the street or whatever and gets like PTSD from it, and then he like creates this like little miniature town full of like all these like little like miniature people and characters that he's created. Oh God, what is that? What is that movie
Wait, are they
called?
all mice though?
Huh?
Are they all mice?
No, 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 no. They're like little like action figures.
Oh, you're talking about the newest one that just came out.
Yes.
Okay. I can't remember what it's called either, but I have not seen that movie yet. I
Hold
want to.
on. What is it called? Welcome to Marwin. That's what it's called.
Welcome to Marwin.
Yes, that movie's so fucking good.
There's another one where he plays a character that's supposed to be like a nerd and everything, but he makes many like towns
Uh
and
huh.
like stories out of dead mice.
Okay.
And it's got who plays Ant-Man?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. It's got Paul Rudd in it. It's got Zach Galifianakis. It's a very funny movie.
Uh huh.
Crap. Let me see if I can
That's
find it.
Dinner for Schmucks.
Dinner for Schmucks. Yeah,
That's a classic.
I love Dinner for Schmucks.
Yeah, that's a classic movie. That's a funny one. Plus, I just love Paul Rudd too. He's funny.
Just again, all around, just a funny actor. Doesn't
True.
need to act funny, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of like physical comedy too.
Same with like Ryan Reynolds and everything.
Oh, I love Ryan Reynolds to death. He's so great. He's also just like his own like brand of individual too. Like there's
Yeah,
no like other Ryan Reynolds out there you can compare him to. It's just Ryan,
it's just him.
just
Yeah,
doing his thing. Yeah.
like
I
you could kind of
ugh.
compare Seth Rogen and Steve Carell together. Paul Rudd. You can kind of compare them all together because they have like somewhat the same personality,
Well, I
like
mean,
just being all around funny people. But then like their personalities, when you have them all in one film, kind of meshes together.
I mean, when I think of Seth Rogen, I think of other people like fucking what the hell is his name? I just had it in my head. What the hell? The dude that we talked about that had James Franco.
James Franco.
Yes, I think of James. I think of James Franco. I think of
Oh, you're
Seth
thinking of
Rogen. Yeah.
like Pineapple Express. You're thinking about the
Ah,
one movie where they go to
Pineapple
fucking
Express.
North Korea,
The
the
Interview,
interview.
baby. Yep. I love that movie.
Uh, we have many fat children in North Korea. That's like one of my favorite lines.
Oh yeah, that's here you can have this gum. Tastes like shit.
Kim Jong Un loves Katy Perry.
I love that movie, especially with the opening bit too, where they're like on air and that they're interviewing Eminem, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm a homosexual." Not that being gay is funny. Eminem being gay is funny.
Well, Eminem in his straight face just looking into the camera and saying,
Yeah,
"I'm a homosexual,"
I'm
and
gay.
then
I'm
them
a
like
homosexual.
them being like, "Oh my god, oh my god,"
They're just
like
like, "Yeah, are you fucking getting this? Have you seen this shit?
yeah.
Have you seen this shit?" So fucking funny.
Then it immediately cuts to like another scene where their entire interview station is being considered a joke by other places.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
God, speaking
Uh,
of comedians like that, that just to segue that, it reminds me of like Anchorman and like Will Ferrell.
Anchorman and Anchorman 2 are some of my all-time favorite movies.
But you know what's a
Oh,
shame though, actually?
what?
Apparently like Will Ferrell's like a super asshole in like real life, which really sucks because he's really funny.
Really?
Yeah, like I've heard oh my god, excuse me, that's so gross. But I've heard that apparently like because I've read stuff online from like servers who have like worked in restaurants that he's gone to or whatever. Yeah, apparently Will Ferrell's a fucking
Okay.
asshole.
Okay, but I can't. I have to take that with a grain of salt because if I saw Will Ferrell and I was serving his table, I'd probably be like very nervous and probably like imagine how much he gets crowded when he goes out.
I mean, that's a fair point.
Because think about it, if you were to be completely bombarded every time you leave your house, you'd be pretty annoyed. And so
Yeah.
you would just start to expect it at some point, which
Uh-huh.
kind of sucks because it sounds like egotistical, but like when it happens so often, you kind of expect that crowd to be there every time. And when
Hmm.
someone kind of like acts like it in the slightest, it could piss you off. So like there's a lot of different things where people go back and forth about Jim Carrey doing that and how like oh some people are like oh he's the nicest person and some people are like he's a fucking asshole but then you have to like kind of take those stories with a grain of salt because you're only hearing that person's side, you're not hearing the actual celebrity's side.
Huh. I feel so bad for Jim Carrey too. Have you seen his documentary?
I've not, but people have been calling him fucking crazy.
I wouldn't say he's
I don't like that.
crazy. I would just say that like all the stuff that he's gone through as like an actor and all the shit that he's done, it just
Yeah,
kind of fucking just got to him at one point, you know.
same with Johnny Depp.
Ugh, poor Johnny Depp.
I mean people again that was one of the biggest cases where I fully stopped believing most media sources about celebrities because people victimized Amber Heard
Hmm.
without looking at any actual evidence, and immediately Johnny Depp lost his fucking contract.
Right.
I think with Disney or someone else. But he still got paid for the full movie because he was in like 5 minutes of it.
Right.
Um, but Johnny Depp was found not guilty of abusing Amber Heard, and
Yep.
Amber Heard's a lying son of a bitch because she's done this in the past multiple times where she's she's called the cops saying, "Hey, I'm being abused." Blah blah blah. The cops get there. There's no marks. They take both testimonies and find out that she was lying like almost every time.
Hmm.
And so and people would never listen to what Johnny Depp was saying, and they didn't wait for him to say anything. They immediately, because it was a bandwagon of, hey, let's hate on Johnny Depp.
Uh-huh.
Let's cancel Johnny Depp. And I hate that kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's why even when the whole Smash community got ratted out, or not ratted out, that sounds bad. When the Smash community got found out that there was a lot of pedophiles and everything,
Yeah.
people blamed ESAM, they blamed Zero, they blamed
Oh,
who else
really?
was it?
ESAM got in trouble too? I didn't know about that.
Well, ESAM, I think, because they also blamed Mewtwo King, I think.
Interesting.
But ESAM, from what I remember, had actual like receipts and records and videos of where he was that night that they were trying to call him out on.
Interesting.
And he proved himself that he was innocent.
Right.
But people wanted to cancel his career and hate on him before they even heard his side of the story.
I mean, unfortunately, that's just. Man, people always look for something to shit on, because it just makes them feel
Yeah,
better.
it's a bandwagon of wanting to hate on things. And that's why I do not like. You could say that someone killed this person, but until an actual, unless the evidence is damning, he was found in his house over the dead body with the knife in his hands.
Mhm.
Okay, I believe it. Okay, but if you're to say this person killed this person, that's not even gone to trial, he wasn't found nowhere near the property where the body was, whatever, I'd be like, okay, I kind of want to see the actual evidence first and like how it connects to him in a verdict before I want to make my decision, because I don't want to be hating on someone for no fucking reason, because that sounds absolutely stupid.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. So it
Which
kind
is
of
like,
so it kind of pisses me off about the Derek Chauvin trial right now. We're going on day fucking 5. This man was caught on camera kneeling on George Floyd's neck and quite literally fucking killed him. But nah, 5 days into a fucking trial. Should have had a convicted day 1 for God's sake.
ridiculous.
Ugh.
And then there's the whole thing with Sinatra,
No,
and
Sinatra.
I will admit that the evidence can look very damning towards him. But if he is in a current relationship, and I doubt that his personality would change from relation to relationship like that, because people that have abusive personalities and stuff like that, they do not change. That personality relationship.
Hmm.
So if he was truly abusing his past girlfriend, his current girlfriend would most likely stand up for it as well as other past girlfriends.
I mean,
So
that whole situation is just a mess in and of itself.
it's a mess too, but the thing is also he fully said that he's cooperating completely with the police. And most innocent people don't really want to do that. Most innocent people don't want to say, all right, I'll give them whatever they want. They can ask for it and I'll give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just want to wait till I find out an actual verdict from the police saying, hey, he did, you know, mentally and verbally abuse his girlfriend. And I'll say, okay, that guy's whole career deserves to be fucking destroyed. I understand that, and I will stand by that 100%. But I will not be overly proactive, I'll put it that way, about destroying someone's career. Because I wouldn't want that done to me. People at my work make up shit about me, or not at my work, not really making up shit about me, but like mishearing things and almost getting me fired or in trouble for saying something that I didn't fucking say, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want my career to be ruined because someone doesn't like who I am or made up a lie about me.
I mean,
Like,
yeah, I get that, but I mean, we just really just gonna have to see where it goes.
yeah. I mean, look at that one former football player. He was about to go pro, just got out of college, right? Was lined up for a spot in the NFL.
What was his name? You have to remind me.
I do not remember his name right now, but you can look up
There's a lot.
college graduate that got accused of rape, and then wrongly convicted. The woman accused him of rape, and they put him behind bars. 20 years later, I believe it was, she came out and said, "Yeah, I was lying." And this whole guy's career was fucking destroyed.
Uh,
He was going to be in the NFL. He most likely could have gone to the Super Bowl. Like, his whole career was ahead of him. And because a lady lied, he was put in jail for years on end.
Brian Banks was his name.
Yep.
Poor
I told
man.
you, like, you'd find it, like, immediately after searching that up.
Yeah, poor man.
It's sad because that shit happens. It's not, like, an overwhelming amount that it happens, but it does happen, and it's not really talked about.
He's
Like,
working
I think,
for the NFL Department of Operations now. That's pretty cool.
very good, good. I think that if you are to lie about a crime, like, happening,
Mm-hmm.
you should be put into jail and fined for the amount that that person would have gone to jail and or did go into jail for.
Interesting trade-off. Huh. Not a bad idea.
Because, I mean, think about it. If you accuse someone of rape just to find out you're lying, or
I mean,
we could
look
take
at
it.
the most famous case of America, Emmett Till.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah.
If we were to look back at Emmett Till, lady says, "Hey, he whistled at me," which he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, her brothers went, her family went over to him and tied him up and brutally beat him, and it ended up resulting in his death.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't do anything wrong, and the people kind of got off scot-free.
Yeah.
I think those people personally should have been given death penalty, and I believe full force in the death penalty. I think that if you commit first degree murder, or you had freaking homicide and you knew you were going to commit homicide and or rape, incest, anything like that, you deserve the death penalty. You do. I mean, it's just a matter of fact. You are a scum of the earth. But I don't believe in actual death penalty the way that we do it now. I don't think you should be given lethal injection. I don't think you should even be fucking shot in front of a firing squad. That's too quick for the shit that you've done. If you commit a harmful act against another human being, you deserve torture.
Oh, you fucking hold on there, Kimasabi. Jesus fuck. I don't know about that.
I mean, think about it. If you were to rape someone and they have the damning evidence that you fucking raped someone, why would they, if they were giving you the death penalty, why would they give you a lethal injection to immediately kill you, basically? Painless way. Why would you get a painless death? I mean,
Because we are humans and we have humanity.
easier, a better way of doing it to
and
torture
we're
the
humane.
person, to break their psyche, would to be giving them Japanese bamboo torture. Personally, that's one of my favorite stories in history, is how that actually worked and how a bamboo shoot can grow through a human body. Really interesting.
We are humane, Michael. We are not savages.
Why would we be humane to someone that's inhumane?
That's not the fucking Dark Ages, broski. I mean, fuck.
I mean, think about it, though. If you are to commit a violent crime that's deemed wrong in every fucking case, why would we
just let him
give you
rot
a
in jail and
peaceful-
fucking forget about him then?
Why would we give you a exit?
Just let them rot for the rest of their lives in prison, then.
But that's the thing. Prison's supposed to be a place for reform.
Eh.
That's what jail is meant to be. Jail is meant to be a place of reform. It's not meant to be a place for people to stay for their entire lives.
That's exactly what happens. Unfortunately.
Exactly. But you look at all these places in Europe that their jails are meant as a place of reform, so you can leave and get back on your feet as an actual model citizen. You leave not ever wanting to go back, but also you want to be a better person. That's what jail is supposed to be.
Well, you have to remember too,
the
prison system in America is all sorts of fucking rigged as it is. You have to remember,
Yeah,
people line their fucking pockets with full jail cells.
Yeah, fucking privatized prisons gain money off of how many prisoners that they have in their jail that year. I know. It's sad because you could have good status and you'd be on your way to being released early, or even released at all, and they could say, "Hey, actually, we're gonna keep you in here," which it does happen. It
Yeah.
does happen. And it's how you make millions of dollars, while owning a fucking jail, a privatized jail. But
We should just eat the rich, honestly. I think
eat the rich,
we
or
have
should we
progressed past the
kill?
need for rich people.
I don't know about that.
Just let them live on a fucking minimum wage for like 2 weeks. See what they do then.
That's true, but there needs to be. There will never not be rich.
Well, yeah, duh, of course. That's been a constant throughout society.
Now, do I think people need to be fucking billionaires? No, not exactly. But I mean, it's their money, and in the U.S., you physically cannot tell them, "Hey, give me your money, donate it to charity," because it's just not gonna fucking work.
Well, I mean,
Because
half of these charities are corrupt as shit anyway.
right, you have to look into charities that you donate to. You have to. You could take that same example. People will say, "Well, why isn't Jeff Bezos donating more of his money to charity?
Because he's an asshole. That's
Why
why.
isn't Elon Musk donating most of his money that he gains to charity?" Okay, so now let's scale this down. If they donate 1% or 10% of their earnings a year, right?
Uh-huh.
Why can't you donate 10% of your earnings a year? Like, let's scale this back down. Let's, you know, basically make it so it's equal on your scale, like a good ratio to how they would be paying. Why can't you pay that much a year? And you'll say, well, I need this money, blah, blah, blah. I earned this money. I worked for this. Well, so did they. They built a fucking company off the ground and made a fucking genius idea. You're just upset that you don't have the same idea.
I don't know about that. I mean, fuck, Elon's parents like owned a fucking mine and like basically profited off of fucking human labor.
But is Elon profiting off of human labor like that?
What I'm trying to say is yeah, his parents owned an emerald mine and they basically just fucking gave him a fuck ton of money and were just like, here you go, have fun.
Yeah, but this could also like go back to like when people tried to cancel Elon Musk, because he is the richest South African man,
I mean,
because
no
that's where he was born.
no human being deserves to have all that much fucking money anyway. Like that's just a
I mean,
ridiculous, like, exorbitant amount of money.
yeah, that's debatable though, because again, he did earn the money he makes by making a product that's reliable and well made.
Mm.
You know,
Well, I mean,
everything can be scaled back down by ratios, and you can every single thing will say, well, why aren't they being taxed more? Well, that's the plan, to tax the fucking rich more, and I believe that they should be taxed more for how much they make.
yes, exactly. But
But
then I don't think it should be like an equalized ratio down to like common people, though.
I mean, think about it. If you have a 1 to 10 ratio of like, they're or 1 to 100, let's say that like you're paying 100th of what they would pay, or some shit like that, or 1 millionth of what they would pay. You're still paying a fucking shit ton. If they donate fucking like people want to say like, well, they could donate 1 million a month and they'd be fine. Okay, so let's scale that down. If you want to donate fucking $10 to $100 a month, go ahead. Like,
Well,
but you don't want to.
no, the whole point is that they make way more fucking money than most of us could like ever dream in our lives. So they should be giving away more because they have the fucking means to do it, and they'll still be fine. Meanwhile, the common people, like you and me, we don't make that fucking much, so we need every penny we fucking make. I mean, shit, most
That's
of the
true.
country still fucking lives paycheck to paycheck.
But I still fully believe that minimum wage should actually be reduced from where it is now.
I disagree heavily.
Okay, and I know I've talked about this before, but I will bring it up again. Minimum wage jobs that are not, hey, I'm working at a Taco Bell, I'm working at a retail shop. They're working on car places. Okay, they're working on your car. That person can be charged with fucking accidental homicide if your fucking tire's not put on right. It goes flying down the freeway and fucking kills someone. They say, I just got my tires put on, blah, blah, blah. That's why they came off. They go back to you, and they go to you and they charge you with negligent homicide. That's the term, negligent homicide. And you go to jail, but you're making minimum wage. And people want to say minimum wage, minimum effort. Fuck no. That's a lazy ass motive for getting away with being lazy. I mean, like, if you want, everyone wants to complain that things are getting so much more expensive, especially at places where they have minimum wage workers. Well, you keep increasing the minimum wage, the prices have to go up.
Well,
You know,
well, well, I mean, the first of all, the whole inflation thing—that's a fucking myth. But if we would have continued at the same rates and like we just kept increasing it, like we would be at a much higher minimum wage than we are now, and we'd be totally fucking fine.
I
I mean,
mean, not really.
they would just have to fucking change a few like prices and rates here and there. I don't understand.
Okay, the minimum wage at $15 an hour.
Uh-huh.
All right, puts you at, I think it was. Hold on, let me do the math right now because I did the math and it fully makes sense why the minimum wage should not be raised, but why taxes on minimum wage employees should be a little bit lower. All right, $15 an hour times 40 hours a week, right?
Uh-huh.
40 hours a week. Multiply that by 52, all right? You're at $31,200.
Yeah, most of us
That is the
make under 50,000 a year. Yeah.
that is the rate, all right, that they deem in the US for you to be above the poverty line. That's it. And this minimum wage will hit $15 an hour. Newsflash. They already have it in motion. That plan's already going to go through. Okay? But that's before tax. All right?
Mhm.
Let's say 73% of your fucking paycheck goes to you. Okay? You want to know what that sits you at per year? Only $22,776. That's working a perfect 40 hours a week every single week of the year. That's
Uh-huh.
not missing a single shift. That's not even being fucking late by an hour.
Right.
Now, after tax, that fucking 22,000 still sits you below the poverty level. So
Okay.
why are
So
we raising minimum wage to $15 an hour if it's still going to set you below the poverty level?
I mean, nobody deserves to live below the poverty line as it is, but with raising it, we can make a little bit of efficient progress to not having that.
I understand that. But the problem is, even at minimum wage like that, I think it was 22 million Americans. Maybe I'm over exaggerating by a little bit. It was it was between 9 million to 22 million Americans are living off of minimum wage employees. That's a huge fucking number.
Right, and I understand that.
That's a huge fucking number. Now, personally, think about people in your hometown that are college or high school dropouts that live minimum wage jobs for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think there needs to be more opportunity. Think about um, people that just school doesn't agree with them. Okay, so then they're stuck on minimum wage jobs. Think about people who, and like, yeah, you can say, well, what about financial crisis, and now they're stuck on a minimum wage job. That's true, but if they were in a position where they had a college degree, they can get another job within that field. The degree doesn't go away because they're in a financial situation. They're stuck for a little while, but you have to get back on your feet. That's how the country is run. It sucks. It's not fully acceptable for some people, but that's just how the country is.
Well, we
If
also
you,
live in a capitalistic society where money is everything, so.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. You can be in a minimum wage job for the rest of your life and be the happiest fucking person.
Hey, there's nothing
It's
wrong with that.
about your there's really nothing wrong with being in a minimum wage job for the rest of your life. I want anyone that hears this to know that. I'm not saying you have to get out of your minimum wage job. But if money means everything to you, you're not going to be happy in a minimum wage job unless the minimum wage goes up. The problem is not the job that you're working, or the problem is not the money that you're making at a minimum wage job. It's the job that you're working at that point. Because don't get me wrong, I know people that work in minimum wage jobs and they are happy people. They are. You know, you can be happy. It's about your outlook on life that gets you. It's not meant to be, oh, woe is me, my life sucks. Make something out of it. I mean, so many people go through this dilemma of being stuck in a situation for so long, and they think, oh, I'm just going to be stuck here for a while, and then they just give up, they stop trying. But there's no way of telling that if you didn't stop trying and you just didn't give up, maybe a month or two later a job opens up and now you're in a higher position, you're making more money, you're out of that crappy situation.
I mean,
I don't want to advocate for having a higher minimum wage. I want to advocate for lowering the tax on those minimum wage employees so then they're no longer below the poverty level. No one should be impoverished in this country. In this country where we have people that are thriving in some businesses, no one should be impoverished. It's just sad. I mean, I want people to have a happy mindset about where they are in life, what they've done with their life, and where they will be. But it's hard to look forward past a dark situation and say, I will be better. You know, my mental state will grow. And I'll just be happier.
It is not that simple, unfortunately.
It's really not.
It's not that simple. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to put in.
Didn't mean to take a dark turn there, but I just the minimum wage is not the problem. It's not the problem we should be combating. It's how the tax system is set up.
Just throw it all away. Just throw the whole country away.
Yeah, but you can't destroy our government without putting a new government in place that will upset the same people because the government's not tailored to their specific needs.
Yeah, so we're all just struggling for now.
The government is supposed to be for the people and by the people, but the government's not meant to coddle the people. I mean,
it's just run by a bunch of rich old white dudes who want to put money in their pocket.
I do think there's a lot about Congress and everything that can be changed, like term limits on senators and governors. Like, you cannot be the same fucking position for 40 fucking years. Should not be allowed. I should not be allowed to be in my fucking 70s, 80 years old, and run for president. That should not be allowed. I should not be allowed to be alive since the fucking 50s, where everything was different back then, and then run for president. That's not okay.
I mean, the office is open to anybody. We have to be like, what, 45, right?
35, I believe.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's a little bit lower. I think there should be term limits on congressmen that can hold the same position. Like Joe Biden was in the same position doing nothing for 40 years. I don't agree with what he basically did nothing. He, at one time, advocated against gay people. I mean...
Yes, I know that.
I'm not taking a side because I try and keep my views down the center, away from being Republican and away from being Democrat, because I think that there are pros and cons to every president. There really are. And President Nixon is one of the best examples of that. Yes, the Watergate scandal and how
Mr.
horrible
Nixon.
that was.
Mr. Antichrist
but Nixon
himself.
also signed Title IX, which Title IX, if you didn't know, I'm pretty sure, from what I remember reading, which was like a couple months ago, allows for women to not be discriminated against when applying for colleges. Colleges could no longer say, you're a woman, not coming here. Yeah, you're one of the smartest in your fucking field, but Harvard is not going to accept you this year because you're a woman. Try again next year. You know,
try not being a woman next year.
Try not being a woman for once. You know, like that's basically what they were saying.
That's fucked up.
What these colleges were saying.
It was
fucked
up.
Signed Title IX, and boom, now you can be a woman, and you can go to college, which was fucking crazy. It was unheard of. Like, not many people had that opportunity. Like, you had to be the fucking cream of the crop at that point before Title IX, if you were a woman, to go to college, and even then.
Even now,
they'd say, fuck you, you ain't coming in.
Even now, a lot of women are discriminated against in their own fields, which is fucked.
Yeah.
fucked up.
A lot of anger coming from you tonight. I didn't mean for it to be that way, but a lot of injustice in the world, and people are tackling it the wrong way. You know what?
What's up?
I was just thinking about it. The whole plastic straw ban that people are trying to put in place.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with certain points of the whole thing. I agree that we should start moving away from plastic straws, but I do not think paper straws are the place to go.
Paper is more
If we're complaining
biodegradable.
about But if we're complaining about deforestation and fucking tearing down millions and millions of trees each year, why are we trying to go to fucking paper?
Because we already have a fuck ton of paper on standby.
Well, right, but we could go to metal straws. They're reusable. You can clean them. Like, let's fucking throw them in a dishwasher. Bam, your metal straw is good to go for the next fucking night. And you wouldn't have to consistently be buying them. You'd have them on stock. Now, I don't think putting petitions into place to say, stop the use of plastic straws or shaming people for using plastic straws is a good thing. I don't think that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing. That fucking restaurant that you're saying, oh my god, I can't believe they use plastic straws. Well, I mean, they already fucking have them. Okay? They're just because you don't want a plastic straw, they'll just give it to the person to your right or at the next table over. They already bought them. If you want to tackle plastic straws, you take it like they did with a ban and put a plastic straw ban in an entire state. That state can no longer use plastic straws. Or take it against the fucking companies themselves that are making these straws and say, hey, fucking stop. Like, here's an option for you to be better. Stop doing this.
I mean, that's just tackling big corpo, and that won't happen, and that's very hard to do. So I mean, who knows?
It's very hard to do, but it is very possible if you have a large group of people doing it.
I mean, yeah, fair. Ah, boy. Bet you know what you don't need a large group of people to do? Listen to this podcast. You can listen to it on your own at any time, and it'll be great. For free. Yeah, exactly. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is our time. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you enjoyed listening. If you want to debate us for a bit in the comments, feel free. We'd love to hear your stories and your opinions.
For the absolute anger that I've been causing, and if I have an opinion that rivals yours, that's fucking okay. I don't care. I don't.
Yeah, none of us really give a shit. I mean, if you want to debate, fucking cool. I guess I don't really care.
Do debate in the comments if you want. That's fine. I bring it towards me. I don't give two fucks. So.
But that's how it is, I guess.
Yeah. With that note.
On that note, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Have a great day.
Afternoon, night, whatever it is for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for listening.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.